Hey guys, I'm Jax, and this is my spoiler review for Daredevil Born Again, episodes 1 and 2. Now when I say spoiler review, I do mean spoilers. I'm going to spoil everything. Speaking of which, there is something truly shocking in these first two episodes, and I don't think enough people are going to be sad about it. I, for one, will never emotionally recover from this moment. And of course I am talking about the incredibly tragic realization that Wilson Fisk is coming back for Daredevil in his classic Daredevil attire. Just a standard, boring, white suit. And apparently, his garish Hawaiian shirt in Hawkeye was just a phase. So to commiserate this tragic loss, I am wearing my garish Hawaiian t-shirt. Gone, but not forgotten. Oh, also Foggy died, but who gives a fuck? Now don't get me wrong, I love the Mighty Ducks as much as the next guy, but Foggy in Daredevil was a bit like, meh. The actor was kind of just like, I don't know, he never grabbed me. I never thought about him like the second he wasn't on screen. I kind of feel like just, I don't know, a bit of a nothing character. And like, I know people love him and are going to be shocked at this tragic twist, but if you know anything of the behind the scenes, this is either an absolute fuck you to the fans who were like, how dare you make season 4/Born Again without him? And so they brought him back only to kill him, which is crazy. Kind of baller in a way. But also, like, they never planned to use him. But the thing that kind of annoys me, or like, not annoys me, but I think is just kind of bizarre, because it is kind of funny that they made a show and it was so bad, and they didn't realize it was so bad until they had not only written it, but filmed it and edited it. And then they went, oh, we've made like 10 of these, and we're not going to make the other 16 or whatever the hell they were going to make. They cut it all, and they brought back Foggy and Karen. And so it's like, oh, they're going to bring them back to use them. And it's like, no, we're going to bring them back to kill one of them immediately, and then have the other one be like, I'm sad and I'm leaving. It's like, okay, well, if you're doing that because there's no room for them in the show, like Daredevil's going to be hanging out with Spider-Man or going to space. Not that I want him to go to space, but it's like, if he's doing stuff with certain characters where they're like, there's just no room for a Foggy or a Karen. Whereas what we've gotten post that moment is that Daredevil's hanging out with new Foggy and new Karen. And they're just not very interesting compared to Karen and Foggy. And I'm saying that as someone who doesn't really even like Karen and Foggy. So I think that's saying quite a bit. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, at least I've got some kind of emotional connection and history. Like, I understand, kill Foggy, but have Karen stay around. Or don't, and just have a new woman who's like, not very interesting at all. And I know it's only been 2 episodes, but also, like, that's a whole movie. I don't know. Like, I should be kind of connected emotionally in some way to this character, or intrigued by them in some way. Whereas really the only thing I'm intrigued by is Daredevil. Daredevil is still super awesome and cool, and he's blind, but like, he's not blind at all. It's fun stuff. He's got magic powers and stuff. It's cool. He's definitely more CGI now, but we all knew that was inevitable. Speaking of which, the first scene in this episode, just before, kind of during, kind of Foggy dying and bleeding out on the street. Oh, fun comic book times. Daredevil does a big one-shot punch-up with Poindexter. Bullseye? Or Super Shooter Man? He does good shots and stuff. I'm not a Daredevil guy, I don't know his name. And he kind of like does a big one-shot, the classic hallway one-shots that we know and love from Daredevil. Except the thing that I did love from those one-shot hallway action fight scenes was that they felt real and dirty and gritty. And they felt like one-shots. Not incredibly obviously staged with incredibly obvious like edit points where, like, you know, a character will go, like, their whole will go past the camera and you go, well, that's the edit point. Oh, that's the edit point. And maybe it's just nostalgia and maybe they're super obvious, but just like, yeah, so it's not a one shot. It's like a fake imitation of a one shot. I also remember Daredevil feeling quite real. At times I almost felt like the actor, like the main actor guy who plays Matt Murdock, was doing a lot of the action. And they would trick it sometimes, like he'd fall out, like the cowboy switcheroo or whatever they call it, where he'd fall out of the room and the stunt double would come back in and vice versa. But it was always like a real guy. Whereas it felt like just sometimes, just in a big wide, he would just turn CGI, like his Blade from Blade 2, fighting those 2 ninjas. You know that moment when that movie just suddenly out of nowhere turns CGI and they're all plasticky and wobbly and it's just kind of like, whoa, that's not, like, good. So yeah, the opening scene didn't make me go, oh my god, Daredevil's back, baby. Season 4, yeah. One-shots and action and dirty grittiness. It was more like, I guess some of that was good, and some of that really does make me feel like I am watching a Disney Plus, like copy, like a clone of Daredevil. And the fact it's not season 4 is like, yeah, this isn't season 4. This is Daredevil Born Again. I think the one thing that really did hook me back into this show, because I thought the first episode was like, okay, I don't know, like, oh, Matt Murdock's sad. He's like, I don't want to be Daredevil. There's a personal thing. I like watching superhero shows because what's that thing that they are that other shows don't have? That's right, they're superheroes. I want to watch them be superheroes and do superhero stuff. And so watching a guy who's like, I don't want to be Daredevil. And I'm like, well, that's what I'm here for. What am I watching then? Just kind of a bit annoying. And then the whole Kingpin is Trump kind of thing that felt like they were doing in that first episode a lot. Just felt a bit like, that's kind of uninspired. Like, have we not been here with every character running for office and everything ever for ages now? Just feels kind of tired and uninteresting in the way they were doing it. Felt like they undermined a lot of what made his character very interesting to make it such an obvious kind of parallel. But then, as we started getting later into the second episode, when the show started to go, this is what we're kind of going to be doing in terms of his lawyering and other cops, and it felt a lot more OG Netflix dirty gritty with, what's his name? That guy. I don't know his, White Tiger. I really liked that guy. I liked his vibe. He was just kind of like, ugh. Just immediately sees two punks beating up a guy, and he's like, hell no, not on my watch. And then when the splatter of blood after that guy gets killed by like the train, his reaction was quite interesting. Because it's just kind of like, you're like, man, that guy has seen some stuff. Because he wasn't all like, no! Like usually with a guy covered in blood, you'd be like, oh my god, the guy's blood's all over my face. Whereas he was just kind of like, oh, damn, I didn't mean to kill that guy. But like, I don't know, he just had a vibe, and finding out that he's White Tiger later, very cool. Love the little line as well where Daredevil's like, his magic amulet or whatever. And I'm like, what, his magic fucking what? Okay, sign me up for White Tiger. I am keen for a man who has some kind of magic amulet that does a magic thing. I love magic. Yeah, I liked his vibe. I liked the idea that he's tried to save someone, accidentally kills one of the bad guys. Turns out bad guys, cops. Cops, super corrupt. And the episode ends with a thing that I thought was kind of insane and it also makes me much more excited and kind of, like cautiously optimistic rather than a bit like, okay. With the action going forward is that did feel quite gritty and real and more OG Netflix, because did Daredevil kill those two cops? Like, sure, corrupt cops. It looked like he killed them. One of the guy's necks splattered on the ground, and sure, we might be doing a bit of revisionist history next week where you've got a Zack Snyder type walking around the crime scene being like, phew, even though these guys were clearly killed in the fight scene you watched, actually totally fine. So maybe this is a Batman doesn't kill situation and Daredevil didn't kill them, but I saw him kill those two cops and I loved it. Honestly, great stuff. I'm really excited to see where it goes next. Kind of strange as well not to get every episode at once, but it is good that they are giving us time to mourn for a full week before the next episode. Because obviously the lack of garish Hawaiian shirts on our favourite Kingpin is going to take a while to emotionally recover from. And if I'm being honest, I never will. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the YouTube-y things or whatever. What did you think about Daredevil Born Again? Are you like big yays or are you like, fuck no?